Hello, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome back to Silenced the House. Last time we killed off a couple of characters, and now I am running away from, well, whatever is happening to Lloyd at the roof. Lloyd screamed, and a crunch of bones were heard from behind, but I did not turn around. No time for it. Inside the chimney, I found a small metal ledges under my feet. How nice that she foresaw this happening. Slowly dropping my legs and fingering the ledges, I descended lower and lower along the staircase attached to the wall. She left it for me here, and the chimney was wide enough to descend without any troubles. Once I was on the first floor, I found that it was not so easy to get out. The fireplace was quite small. I sat down on all fours and then leaned forward to let my hand touch the grating. I lifted one foot and pushed it against the stone. There was a crash of grating and then it broke. I fell out of the fireplace and, rising abruptly, ran to Ella. "Where's Martin? Where's Grace?" "He has her." The girl was sitting on a mattress and holding her newspaper in her hand. She looked wide-eyed right in front of her, and next to me laid my bag. I snatched the newspaper from her hands. Read in this issue: "Beauty requires sacrifice. A girl sets on fire the house of her best friend, who won the Miss School contest. Friends can be as thick as thieves. A rapist forces his friend to jump off a roof right after he screwed his girlfriend. Rubik intrigue. Serial killer lover is now in your house. Carefully look at yourself in the mirror and make sure that your appearance is not similar to his sister. She received all of the love of her parents and he hated her, and he hates you the same way. Grace Hutling." What? A letter from our readers. "Hello, dear Ella. If you're reading this, then I'm already around. Mr. Bubbles still wants to play with you. I'm sure that you're also waiting for this. After all, last time you just died of waiting to play with him. Announcement: I will buy strings. Unfortunately, mine are now sticking out of bleeding wrists. With such, you can't play the guitar. For all questions, please contact Anna Rudberg, Southern Quarter, 7th row, location 1, Erinstone Groves." Grace, where are you? God damn it!" I shook Ella. "Where the hell are they?" Ella could not answer. No, not because I did not give her enough with my sudden shaking. She was scared, and besides, she really did not know. Ella just pointed up, but this was not an answer. It's the same as if she did not know. And perhaps I would be better if she did not say anything at all, did not show her existence, did not show that she was here. I was really pissed off. I hit her in the face. Now I became another Ashley, the killer girl. Ashley the murderer, not the one that summons ghosts and hides behind her. Now I have become the devil himself. It was clear that they were on the upper floors. Martin wanted to kill her, like all those who have already been given his bracelets. Looking up, I asked myself the question: am I ready for a meeting with you, lover? Hell yeah, I'm ready. I ran up the stairs. Although I was already very close to the second floor, I seemed to take only the first step. Fear freezed time and eclipsed my mind. The cold hands of the dead girl seeped through the steps that I descended. They grabbed me, wanted me to listen to their stories. Each one of them wanted to yell at me, to pour on me with their blood, which seeped into my mind, swollen by madness. They wanted to rip off my ears and whisper their stories inside of them, spit worms, and throw their insides in my face. They wanted to do anything so that I would pay attention to their voices. They were already there, awoken too fast, suddenly, and not according to plan. They knew that Martin was about to do it again, and even she could not hold them anymore. Lots of, nondescript pronouns here. She should have. I felt that the ground beneath me had shifted, but I managed to keep myself together. After skipping a few steps, I was on the second floor. There was a cry. It was Grace. The cry came from the nursery. I climbed the stairs to the third floor and prepared for the worst. The girl was lying on the bed. Her hands and feet were tied, and familiar bracelet gleamed on her thin wrist. Martin was holding a knife above her. Hearing my steps, the guy turned and pierced me with his gaze. He did not look like himself now. His eyes glittered like sapphires, as if he were going to acquire something that he had always dreamed of. He licked his trembling lips. "I'll do it, Ashley. You know that she's mine. You hear them. I know now. I can hear them too. They're after you. It ends now." I lied, of course. Before it will be over, I still needed to deal with the couple and then destroy the entire harem of Martin. The lover was burning with desire. He was no longer a human. He became a monster. His shadow stretched out and dug his fangs into Grace. No, it's just an imagination. But the steps behind him were not. I turned around. Madness. God, I missed them. Couple was dragging along the corridor. I recognized the tattoo on the girl's neck and, of course, those sewn-up mouths. It looked like they already dealt with Lloyd and now wandered around the house in search of new victims. Martin and Grace would be ideally suited for this role, but I couldn't afford it. Not on my watch. Ho-ho! Hello! Right in front of me, as if I had become the very epicenter of the event, there was a girl who once belonged to Martin Crane, and he belonged to her. Jane Crane. She had huge knives coming from her back from cutting meat. The scars that protruded on the skin in places where there were glimpses between the bandages glinted scarlet. She smelled of medicine and blood. Jane was holding bandages on her hands, which were twisted with the white snakes of the necks of other girls. They looked like dogs on the leash. The bandages were so tight that I thought she would strangle them or break their necks. But of course, it was a stupid idea. After all, the girls were already dead. I saw only 3 girls who began to approach the couple, but left the presence of at least 10, or felt the presence of at least 10 or even more. Having examined the commander girl more attentively, I saw that there were still bandages stretching from her hands. 5 on each arm. They waved in the air with the white waves. That's a silly sentence. I heard a soft tapping. These are gold, silver and plastic bracelets that knock on each other. For a second my mind seemed to be in a different dimension. I saw the girls in a strange dance. One of them held the hand of another. She grabbed the stud where the hand used to be. The other clung to the protruding bone. The third touched the wall with a finger and wrote, "Martin Crane, do you love me?" And then her hand slipped and wrapped around the guy's neck, but she could not kill Martin. Not until Jane commanded her to. The couple was at first confused and scattered, shaking their heads. The girls tore off the bandages and leaped forward, exposing their sharp teeth. They were digging with their fangs into the bodies of Nadine and Thomas, trying to tear them apart, but they could not kill them without destroying the binding object tattoos. And I could not allow this. Nadine, who sat on her shoulders, was not able to balance herself and collapsed from the steps, rolling towards the second floor. The glass bracelet broke from a strong blow, and the girl, with a cry, disappeared. Sally, one of the lover's victims, spit out her tongue and cut it around the neck of a girl with a tattoo, but thank God she did not touch the pattern. Nadine managed to dodge and ran downstairs. If Sally, who is now slipped in grave in the Ironstone Grove Cemetery, saw such a picture, she would certainly vomit. If she saw what became of her, she would share her breakfast with the crows who visit her grave every day, that's for sure. I took one of the knives, pulling it out of Jane's back, and rushed to Martin, bewildered by what was happening, to hit him in the temple to neutralize the bastard. Jane Crane turned to me. Her eyes were covered in bandages, but I knew that her look was definitely unkind. All the pain belongs to her and the girls. I can't kill Martin, but since the blow was not so painful, it seemed that she forgave me for this. Thanks. I rushed out of the room and ran downstairs to the first floor, following Nadine, Thomas, and the several girls from the horde of Jane. Running down the steps, I saw Sally stand upright. Honestly, I thought she would remain crawling on all fours. The girl put her hands in her mouth, stirring the bandages on her face and pulled them out, pierced with blades that went under her fingernails. She got closer to Nadine and wanted to slash her neck again, but I got just in time between them and blocked her attack with a knife. Yes, let's say that the years of training made me a skilled fighter. However, I'm just a human. Sally touched my hand with her claws. Somehow, overcoming the pain, I took Nadine by the throat and cut it through the middle of the tattoo, sharply pressed on the temple. The girl's head tore off and fell to the floor, and the body crumbled to dust. The seams on Thomas's lips parted, and he yelled. Worms fell from the open mouth, and Sally was already coming for a new strike. This time she attacked me. I thought she was my ally, though temporarily. But at the very moment it became clear that she wanted to kill me as well. Having beaten the blow with a knife, I swung at Sally and she backed away. Turning sharply, I grabbed Thomas by the hand and he pushed me away and snatched the knife from my weak fingers. Without thinking twice, the guy stabbed the blade in my stomach. Then he jumped to Sally and cut over her beaded bracelets. God damn, I almost died. I closed my eyes, anticipating my death, but no, I can't die like this. My life does not belong to me. In front of me lay the forceps, and I knew what I had to do with them. One of my teeth ached. No, I will not do it. I don't want to. Go to hell. You lost so much blood. Just let me help. Damn. Thomas seemed to think I was dead and headed upstairs to finish Martin and Grace. Ella did not notice. She seemed to be still sitting in the next room, not giving any sign of life. I wonder if she was conscious at all. I frowned, took the forceps and put them in my mouth. Experiencing the pain, I grabbed one of the teeth in the metal grip and pulled. Ugh! But I would not have had the strength to pull out the tooth, so she helped me. The forceps flew out of the hand and the blood spilled to the floor with a thin trickle. I took her rotten dead corpse, which was now wider than all of mine, and inserted it into the place of the torn one. I immediately grabbed my flesh and I gained strength and, most importantly, the wound was drawn out. I did not think that I'd have to go that far. 6 teeth already. This number scared me, but thank God a person has 32 teeth. I caught up with Thomas. He tried to shred Jane, waving a knife near the doorway of the children's room. I again borrowed a knife from the girl and, grabbing the guy by the hand, cut off the skin with a tattoo. The knife was very sharp, easily passed through the flesh, leaving a bloody, exposed bone of his arm. When his body fell, I wanted him to stand up and close the terrible picture. Oh, God! Okay. This is something. In the middle of the nursery sat Martin. His hands were lying on the floor, and his legs were also separated from the body. There was a crunching and gnashing of bones, wild sounds of chewing flesh. Girls led by Jane surrounded Martin and devoured him. The worst thing is that he was still alive. He yelled and begged to be rescued. I already saw it. The spirits of anger, in fact, are terrible. They can make a person live after a death for a few more seconds. The black magic of that world is really scary. I tried not to look at this horror. One of the girls raised her bandaged head to me. Martin's brush was clamped in her teeth. She, like an inquisitive kitten, turned her head and then returned to her meal. I pulled Grace out of the room, trembling with fear. Horror stiffened in her eyes, and a cry crept to her lips. It seemed that if she opened her mouth, she would certainly skin them. Somewhere inside me, the door opened and she went into the hall, lit by thousands of candles of hunger. Her thin hands clutched at the beating heart, her teeth dug into the red flesh, tearing into the organ. She eagerly began to bite off the heart into large pieces. The flesh stretched and tore, blood dripped onto the floor, red patches fell all around. I soon removed the terrible images of her feast from my mind. Everything is fine. We need to go. Fine? Really? The girl didn't say anything. We came downstairs to Ella. At the moment, she had collected her things and was going to leave. We needed to be prepared for the next creature. She'll come soon. We must be prepared. Prepared for what? For the eternal afterlife. Do you think we'll win? She won't let us. The girl wanted to strangle me. It looks like she cared about the fate of her little brother much less than her own. She went mad, just like Lloyd, and rushed to me. Stop it! Enough! I'll kill you, you bitch! I'll kill you, you shitty slut! She grabbed my throat and began to strangle me. I swung with my knife and managed to get out, but soon Grace took the knife away and raised it to kill me. I took a step back and the knife stabbed at the wall. Grace, what are you doing? It's her! She did this! She's killing us! The ritual, all of this, it's her work! If she wanted to kill us, she would have already done that! I don't know. Maybe she's waiting for something. I just don't know. Grace's face suddenly changed. He looked at me. I guess Grace understood that she just couldn't ever become a real threat for me. Not Ashley Knight, the girl who had just moved to a new school and has lots of enemies already. It was not even a human being who was standing in front of her, but the devil itself. All the remorse, like taking away lives is a sin, killing people is bad, was in my head. I was fighting it. I cut the memories with a huge knife, tortured them, or even tore them apart, but never got rid of them. I knew that what I was doing was wrong, knew that I was a monster as bad as Pennywise, the dancing clown from Stephen King's It. I knew myself as such, and I didn't accept it, but I had no choice. Anyway, Grace saw genuine evil in front of her. She saw the girl who was laughing at her prey, the girl that got satisfaction from stabbing flesh and tearing it apart. And I'd lie if I said that killing wasn't funny, but it's just a way to make it less scary, terrifying and immoral. I'm just playing a killer imitating her, even though the guilt is all mine. Grace started moving back, swinging with the knife. Don't you dare come near me, asshole! Don't you dare! Her eyes were full of fear, not madness. Her will wasn't broken. She didn't have enough strength to beat me, but she couldn't give up so easily. The girl turned around and ran upstairs. I didn't follow her. No need for that. Moreover, Jane, with her army, just started coming to me and Ella. A little goth girl noticed my axe stuck in a wooden floor and pulled it out. She nodded understandingly. I wouldn't want to kill her, but I would have to, as she had made her choice when she crossed the line as all of them. Actually, I can help her to deal with the monsters, but Jane is mine. I pushed my hand in the pocket and took out a tooth. Thankfully, I had several of them. Take it. This brings luck. Yeah, some luck is what I really need right now. I was watching in fear as something like a mummy of a Lerner Hydra started walking down the stairs, one by one, filling the room with the odor of blood. It seemed like walls started rotting where these horrible creatures touched them. The bandages were rustling and rubbing against their mutilated and broken bodies. Their black eyes were bottomless, black abysses. Now the whole squad with Jane ahead was ready. They rushed to us from all directions. I heard the sound of their teeth blades scratching. Ella was screaming in fear but was swinging with her axe so fast that the pieces of flesh were flying off. Sometimes she even managed to destroy the bracelets. Ella practiced dancing so her movements weren't chaotic at all. Indeed, I saw the rhythm and grace. Anyway, it's good enough to kill those assholes. Like a hysterical ballerina, she was going around and round. Blood was splashing on her. Hugging her with a red dress, her axe went up and down, slaying the monster girls. But they were just coming and coming. We were too exhausted to continue the fight. I was gracefully swinging with my knife, and even kept the monsters away from Ella. Unfortunately, I couldn't fight forever. I hated my weapon, which wasn't able to kill those bastards properly. One of the ghost girls managed to grab me by the throat, and holding the useless knife in my hand, I looked in horror at the shiny bracelet on her wrist. Thankfully, Ella was right on time to cut the freaking hand off. The monster screamed and fell on the floor. Her friends jumped at us, and I grabbed the random target. Jackpot! This time the bracelet was a chain, and I easily destroyed the monster when it was torn apart. It could be much easier, but I had already used the tooth. It could give me powers only once, and I usually used it to stay alive after serious injury. It's no use. We need to figure out something. Jane, with her squad, were downstairs already, so Grace peeked from the upper floor. She was seeking an opportunity to run away. It was not the best moment, so she returned to her safe place. Run, bitch, run! Ella's voice was cold and cruel. Not as usual. I continued swinging with my knife. We were in the ritual room, but we were trained and had to retreat to the hall. Jane was really close. Her hand was trying to reach me, but when I tried to hit her, someone always covered her, so I had to attack from a distance. Shit, where was that revolver when I needed it? Jane was strong. What if she was like some kind of boss in a goddamn game, and if we would kill all her followers, she would die? Looked like staying alive until that moment was almost impossible. Strong jaws bit my hand and skinned it. God, how painful. I felt dizzy and fell near Martin's back. There was a spare lighter and a can of spray deodorant held within. Looks like before going to Grace's birthday party, he went to the gym. The killer has to be fit, right? I didn't care about it too much, but like a child of the 21st century, I saw a flamethrower. But it was too late. I can divert the attention to myself. Are you sure it'll work? She pointed at the flamethrower with her axe and then quickly cut off the hand of the monster girl. It shouted and stepped back, swinging with a stump. I got up and took the flamethrower and pressed the button. A fire stream filled the space in front of me, but even if it was weak, I started walking forward anyway. Ella had slain 2 girls who were defending Jane, and when the new squad guards started reinforcing, the flame of fire touched the bracelet. It turned black and began smoking. That's strange. I saw that some girls were wearing golden bracelets. They were the hardest to kill. Silver and bronze ones were for Ella. Her axe could break them, but very rarely. Martin knitted the bracelet for his lovely sister Jane himself. I wonder what expressions he wore on her face when her brother gave her that, and what he felt when he understood that it was a payday. The knitted bracelet turned into a flame circle like the one which tigers jump through in circus. In a moment, the girl started turning to ash. Her teeth knives were falling from her mouth, sticking to the floor, creating a wicked smile. The bandages disappeared, and I saw her slashed face. Blood was flowing out from her eye holes, and the girl fell to her knees, hiding her face in her hands. But her hands began rotting and immediately fell off. Her face was so ugly that I turned away. Her jaw plopped on the floor, and the body turned to ashes. "Looks like we did it," she smiled at me. "I don't know what you're up to, and I promise to help you in exchange for my life." "I can't promise it, but for sure you can take the risk." "I'll do whatever you ask. I can torture, I can kill. She hurt you so much, and I understand what you feel, Ashley. Grace must suffer after what she's done to you at school, after all the bullying and jokes." "You understand me? You, an asshole that traded your friends for your pathetic soul. You understand?" My eyes flashed with coldness. "Follow me. But it will be helpful for me. Ella's on my side." Anyway, I decided to keep my distance from her. Who knows, maybe she'd want to cut my head off. We started climbing up the stairs when suddenly a ball fell to our feet and then disappeared. I heard a clockwork key creaking. Toys. Jeez, a baby again? Assholes, like killing babies? I looked at Ella. She looked focused and was holding the axe ready. So focused that I thought she'd kill me in a second. Ashley! The spirits that liked talking the most. The spirits of greed. I looked closely at Ella's face. Did you kill a baby, you bitch? Who are you? I want her to swim with me. So I must help you? Not really. But if you don't help me, we'll be swimming together. And there is much space there. Plenty of it, Ashley. I'm not going to hell. Not today. But they have reserved a room for me. You're funny. Can we be friends? Probably. Can you share things, Ashley? I can. She couldn't. Ever. Of course. You mean Ella? No response. Seems like she doesn't like talking too much. Nah. I saw Grace. She was holding a knife in her hands. The girl ran straight to me, but when she noticed Ella with an axe, she realized who was the real prey. Grace ominously flashed her eyes at us and rushed to the bathroom, locking the door behind her. I couldn't let Ella kill her, so I wanted to grab Ella's hand, but I didn't have a chance. She came to the bathroom's door and prepared her axe. The little goth hit the door and the axe was broken to pieces. What the hell? That wasn't the deal. I guiltily looked at her. Of course, there was no guilt. Ella wanted to run away, but I won't let her. The mist surrounded her. She couldn't run anywhere but to the bathroom where Grace was hiding. I heard the water smettering and quiet sobbing of a girl in the bathroom. Ella started feverishly knocking at the door. I don't want to die because of you, Grace. You bitch, get out of there. I will kill you. Kill you, asshole. The girl began scratching the door with her nails, and then she ripped one off her finger. She screamed. The blood pool appeared under the door. Ella looked at the blood in fear, and her mind went mad. Seemed like she saw something in her bloody reflection. Don't look at me like this. I told you not to touch Miss Bubbles. She rushed at me and fell on her knees. I warned her so many times, Ashley. Believe me, I am not guilty. She stopped looking at me. Ella stared down again like the gates of hell were on the floor. Through the half-opened door, an unknown and beyond, Missy Alvert was calling her sister to play. Leave me alone! I don't want to play with you, you little shit! I must have burnt your corpse, little bitch! Ella jumped quickly and, pushing me away, ran down the stairs. The crimson blood rushed after her, and on the last step, a cold hand grabbed her ankle. Ella fell to the floor, but managed to get up. Missy grabbed her hands and pulled down, making her fall on her knees. No! Let me go! Let me go! Now you're on my stage. What to do with you, I'll decide myself. I heard a loud, painful scream. Do you know what she did when she drowned me, Ashley? I shook my head. I didn't know. She took my bricks from the box and stole all of my toys. She didn't leave me anything except Mr. Bubbles. I drowned with him in my hands. I'm sorry. She deserves this, right? Deserves to feel the pain? Of course, decide yourself. It's your sister, so it's up to you to decide. Missy sharply pulled Ella's hand and the girl fell on her head. She began sinking in her own blood and I heard sobbing. Ella stopped breathing. Now I'm alone again. But you'll play with me, right? I felt sorry for Missy. She seemed to be so nice when she was alive, since becoming a vengeful spirit didn't make her lose her humanity. Of course. Really? Yes. Obviously I was lying. Let me hug you. Missy happily ran to me and hugged me tightly. I felt her strength. I guess in a second the girl was going to break all of my bones and take me with her. She'd lead me to the lawn with lots of toys and with the sun shining brightly. Where Mr. Bubbles blocked the sunlight, the lawn became dark. Snow came in flakes, the filling of Mr. Bubbles. I'm sorry. Really? She looked exactly like her. Before my sister became that monster, she was as nice as Missy. Oh, so the spirit thing who's controlling Ashley is Ashley's sister. What's her name then? But now she's a devil to which I sold my soul. I didn't come to the bathroom but faked death lying on the floor instead. It was hard to do since the blood was everywhere. Is anyone alive? Nobody answered her. The bathroom's door slowly opened and I heard Grace's footsteps. She stopped nearby. She was looking at both Maya and Ella's bodies. Got that, bitch? She rushed down the stairs. The door wasn't sealed, so Grace came up to it. I got up and ran to Grace. The girl jumped back in fear. I didn't want that shit. I didn't kill her. She did it herself. I just asked her to create a group. I didn't want us to be friends. I understand and trust you, but this is over. Anna McCroyd appeared behind me. Her arms were cut by the strings. She was trying to reach Grace. The girl screamed and rushed outside. I ran after her and Anna disappeared. Obviously, she'd find Grace first. Now, after seeing Missy, I realized who my sister really was, and I believed less and less that she turned into an abomination that was eating souls. I killed lots of children's spirits, but this one was special. She was almost innocent. As innocent as if it ever could be when you're a spirit of revenge and vengeance is your main reason to exist. I went out into the cold night forest with a flashlight. Grace's footsteps were hard to see and easy to lose. I was soon exhausted because so many things had happened and I hadn't even had a proper meal. Not like my little sister who already eaten lots of souls, speak of the devil. But no, she didn't say anything. She kept silent. Seems like she didn't like talking after food. When I stopped to catch my breath, my flashlight caught sight of something. A bag was hanging in a tree. I swear it was my sister's bag. A penguin with a button clasp. She liked this bag so much. It was our mom's present for her birthday, and after that my parents and my sister died in an awful accident. A fateful accident. I try not to remember about it, and I feel really bad that she has become such a creature, but I'm glad that she lets me see my parents at least. I remember how often we played hide and seek in the yard. Most often I was seeking her, but not that day. The day when the wind was swinging the curtains of the mental hospital. She was the one who was searching. Somewhere in the graveyard, she was standing on her grave, under the dry soil, was standing, facing the wall and counting. Then she found me and offered a deal. Do you want to see them, Ashley? I can show them to you. The wind suddenly became stronger and colder. It whispered to me. Ashley! And then once more, as if I didn't hear it for the first time, but the voice changed. It was louder. Ashley! It was a girl's voice, but not hers. That meant it's a ghost. Anna, what do you need? Have you already slaughtered Grace? No, Ashley, it's me. My name used to be Lizzie. I froze. It's impossible. My sister now has a different voice. It's rough and hoarse. She's different. Is that you, bitch? Are you freaking kidding me? Jeez, what kind of words are these, sister? You need to wash your mouth. I knew her voice. That was Lizzie, without any doubt. My little Lizzie. Your voice has changed. It's never changed. The Faceless took my voice and my name. Now I do not have a name, Ashley. She took everything. I couldn't say a word. I wanted to scream in pain, to blame everyone in this shitty world. All those murders that I'd done were for nothing. What if my parents are fake? What if they're just delusions? I've never thought that she's not my sister. I wanted to see my mom and dad too much, and this bitch used it to manipulate me. It was all for nothing. I was a murderer. I wanted to commit suicide, to pick up this heavy rock and smash my skull to pieces. Wait! We need to stop her. You're wrong. Nothing can be compared to your sufferings, but finally I found you, and we can set our mom and dad free and the rest of them. You mean the souls of the ones who were killed by sinners? The victims? I mean everybody! The sinners are victims too. It's been all planned from the beginning. They killed innocent people to become her food. She made them kill. The faceless exists beyond this world's time and rules. But how can we destroy her? We can't kill her, but we can save everyone. I can't stay here long. Open the bag and take the linking object. I started crying, so I was rubbing my eyes until they became swollen. I opened the bag with wet fingers and took out the ring with a big diamond. Obviously it wasn't real. I gave it as a birthday present to my sister that doomed day. Then parents and her went downtown to buy everything for the birthday feast, but I stayed at home because of fever. That's so great, sister. Now you'll be with me wherever I go, Lizzie told me happily while getting into the car. Finish what we started, and we'll have a chance to make things right. I ran through the forest and soon came to the tree line. I saw a stage nearby. The moon was lighting it up like a projector. Grace and Anna were standing there. Both of them were holding microphones. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd love to represent to you our favorite singer. Looks like Grace couldn't run or say anything. She was coughing and spitting blood. I guess she doesn't have anything to say, but don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. For a moment, I thought someone was watching them for real, and I stared straight into my eyes. Oh, I like the music here. Really, really cool. All of you are here to listen to the beautiful Grace Hudling's voice, but unfortunately, she has a sore throat, so she's not ready to sing now. Anna pretended that it was bad news, but immediately became happy. No, you can't refund money for tickets. And if you can't hear the voice of Grace Hudling, I'll show it to you. And I'll play solo on this wonderful guitar that Grace gifted me. Do you remember, honey? You were selling this wonderful thing in sale because you couldn't play it, but you could sing, and then I played in all your concerts. It was a great deal. A cold smile appeared on Anna's face. But I'm afraid the contract period is over since a long time ago. Anna tightened the loop around Grace's neck and pulled. The string tore her soft throat, and Anna put her hand into this bloody massacre. The girl was holding Grace's vocal cords that were shining in the moonlight like a disco ball. I ran to the stage, but Anna gave me the guitar herself. It was my best performance. I took the fingerboard more comfortably and smashed the guitar against the stage. It broke apart and the torn strings played their last chord. For a moment I felt myself like a famous rock musician. Maybe Anna herself would do the same after one of her concerts. Actually, instead of the applause, I heard blood splash and chewing. The creature was already consuming the Grace's brain. But I knew that, in fact, she was eating the soul of my sister, the pure soul. What a proud girl! So delicious! How? The monster began coughing with blood. What have you given to me, nasty girl? This can't be. You're a sinner too. I heard her squealing, and then she showed up on the stage under the moonlight. She was turning inside out. The blood was pouring. She was shaking and screaming in pain. Eventually, she fell on the grass and started crying. A pure soul! Bitch, where did you get that? You betrayed me. But I was hoping to eat all of your sadness. Injured Lizzie came out of the monster. She felt pain, but I couldn't do anything to help her. Nothing. I knew that she was a ghost, but those suffering were like hell. Now our parents are free, and you're free too. I just couldn't let her go. I just couldn't. I was watching her writhing in pain, and then a bright flash. A false diamond exploded, and one of the shards stabbed my eye. I closed it with my hand, and the warm blood was spilling through my fingers. I felt sick and fainted. I opened my eyes. My eye. The other one hurt. The hole where it used to be hurt. Looks like it was gone now. I was looking down at the small pool of blood, which was all that was left of my eye. When I opened the penguin bag, I found Liz's handkerchief. Good, I can use it to cover the wound. After bandaging myself, I looked around. I found myself in the same forest. Thanks, sister. You're welcome. It just hurts so much. So much. But we'll bear this. I couldn't believe that I hurt her. Lots of stuff happened to me, but it all seemed like a dream. My eye-hole aches. I know how to deal with the faceless. What? What are you talking about? We have to go to school and fast. What school? Ours? The new one. It's not that easy to enter. That's why we need to hurry. I feel like I'm going crazy. That means you'll feel at home. Wait, what? Was this the end? The policeman came to the crime scene. The whole house was covered in blood. Gregory Darfield was transferred into this department not so long ago, but loads of people had died already. There was a murder in the asylum, in the factory, and in the old abandoned amusement park. He slowly approached the house. Having opened the door, took out his gun. Gregory saw the corpse of a young girl on the floor. Her hands were spread like wings, as if she was flying to get something. To get her head that was lying far away, so far from her freaking body. Gregory pretended to have never come to this house. He was still outside, or better, he was driving on a highway far away from this place. He swallowed, and finding the phone with sweaty fingers, he made a call, glancing at the damn star. He would just tell about what he had seen. Just call Inspector Merose and go away as if he never came here. Somewhere in the chief's office the phone would ring. He would just answer several questions. Fine, Gregory, he muttered. I think you should take a look at the head. We just need to tell parents about her death. We are humans after all. Gregory made a step forward. Shit. Right in front of the stairs, another girl's corpse was lying. She was curled up. All her body was wet with blood and her eyes were frozen in fear. All the corpses were fresh. Gregory had goosebumps. The girl was almost smiling at him. Actually, he didn't really want to do that, but his curiosity led him to the second doomed floor. There was a young man in the center of the room. Legs and arms were missing, as if a beast tore them off. No, Gregory didn't see it. A half-eaten arm in the corner of the room. He did not see anything, did not enter the house. He just called to tell about the accident. Inspector Moreau speaking. Jeez, I'm so glad you picked up the phone. I do not even know what to say. The corpses are everywhere. Maybe it's even more violent than the murder at the school. It's absolutely insane. I see. Calm down. Did you see the star? Who cares about the freaking star? There are torn limbs everywhere. It's hell. So you saw it? Yes. The star and the candles, as you told me. One more place. This is the third such accident already. Looks like it's getting hot soon. Do you think it's somehow connected to the phantasm, Inspector? Phantasm? Don't know. It's probably some kind of experiment. Jeez, what on earth is happening in this world? I think you should ask the devil. So that's what she really is. Real Lizzie. Lizzie Knight, a girl who loves penguins and sugar candies. Together you saved your parents and perhaps the whole world from a terrible creature that feeds on souls. Do you hear the fanfare and applause? You deserve it. Yay! Okay, this was... Apparently there are multiple endings to this game, so I might play this again. Try to do some of the decisions differently. Very cool little game. Lots of madness, and I don't know, especially during the second episode I had the feeling that all of the characters are just assholes and they deserve to die, but yeah, I don't know. In the end, like, well, the guys were obviously psychopaths and murderers, but the girls, not sure what was, like, we spent... I would have liked to spend a little bit more time on the characters' backstories. Why did they deserve to be killed? And like, if there was a way to redeem them, I don't know, maybe I really need to play this again in order to get the whole story. Well, how do I feel about this? This ended kind of abruptly. Like, the beginning was really, really long and kind of built up the atmosphere very nicely, but then this... like, the rest of it, after the first killing, everything just kind of steamrolled, and now they're all dead. So I would have liked to spend a little bit more time to let the story develop a little bit slower, maybe. And, you know, from the first ghost up to the end, it was like non-stop action all the time. There's this like constant fight scene going on, so it would have been nice to have some like kind of slower moments. That's a really cool thing right there. Like to kind of calm down every once in a while and kind of set the pacing a little bit, like it would have made the pacing flow a little bit better. But interesting game. I love the art style, very like simplistic, and the color scheme is really, really beautiful. The music was great, I really liked that. And well, some of the scenes were actually really horrifying. And yeah, since there are different solutions, different endings to this, I might have to play this again on my own time, but next week, this time, there will be something else in the channel. Thank you so much for watching this episode. If you liked it, let me know. If you have any suggestions for me what to play next after this, leave them for me down in the comments below. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you again next time.